Hey everybody. If there is one thing that I get asked all the time, it is how do you get your kids to listen to you? And if there is one thing that drives parents crazy, it's being ignored. So let's talk today about how you get your kids to listen to you and what to do if they're ignoring you. I'm Sarah Rosensweet, Peaceful Parenting Coach, and I'm here in episode 2 of my Peaceful Parenting mini show. So welcome, and let's talk about when kids don't listen. So there's basically 3 reasons why kids don't listen to you. One is that they don't hear you. Another is that they don't like what you're asking them, and the third is that they're not taking you seriously. So let's take each of those and break them down and talk about why it happens and what you can do about it. So when you say something to your kids sometimes and they're engrossed in activity, they're playing Lego or they're watching a show, and you get no response, don't assume that they're just ignoring you and being willful or trying to be difficult. It could be that they actually don't hear you. The way small children's brains develop is really they can only keep one thought in their head at a time. So what happens in between the ages of 5 to 7 or a little bit later for more sensitive kids is they go through a period of brain development that child development experts call the 5 to 7 shift. That's 5 years old to 7 years old. And that's when they become capable of having 2 ideas in their head at the same time. So I'm playing Lego and I can hear my mom calling me that it's time to get ready for school or go for dinner. But until they're that old, they really just get completely lost in thought, and play is the work of childhood. And sometimes kids are just too engrossed in what they're doing and they don't hear you, or they do hear you, but it's like that Peanuts voice going wah, 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 wah. So what do? If you call your child and they're not responding, and I recommend doing this anyways, you go over, you tap them on their shoulder, you get in their face in a friendly way, and you do what Gordon Neufeld calls eyes, smile, nod. So you look into their eyes, you smile to make a connection with them, and you nod. Okay, you hear me, I have your attention. And then from there, that's when you know that they've heard you. So that covers the first one. Why children don't listen or they ignore you because they don't actually hear you. The second thing of why kids ignore you is because they don't actually like what you're asking them to do. So, let's go and get ready for bed. And they don't want to do it, so they have wishful thinking. If I pretend I don't hear her, then I don't have to go and get ready for bed. So what can you do in that case? You find a win-win solution. Hey, I know, right now you're acting like you don't hear me because it's time to go get ready for bed and you don't want to get ready for bed. So let's pretend that we're baby pandas, or you're a baby panda and I'm the mommy panda. Do you want to ride on my back up to the bedroom? So by making it a little bit more, that thing they don't want to do, a little bit more palatable, then you can get cooperation. You can get a kid who listens, and really, actually, when parents say my kid won't listen to me, it's really that they won't cooperate, right? So listening is the first step of cooperation. So if you want your kid to cooperate with you, then try and find a win-win solution to make that thing that they don't want to do a bit more palatable. So give an invitation to play is the number one thing that most kids will not pass up, that opportunity to play with you. So kids don't listen because they can't hear you, because of their brain development, or they're too engrossed in play. Sometimes they don't listen because they don't actually want to do what you want them to do. So, giving them something to work with that makes it a little bit more fun, that can be really effective. The third, and I think actually probably the most common thing that I find with parents of why kids don't listen, is because we have inadvertently trained them to ignore us. So this actually brings in strategies from the first 2 things that I talked about. So if you are running around the house trying to get ready and you're calling up to your 5-year-old, time to get your backpack, time to get your shoes, and they keep playing. Time to get ready, they keep playing. You keep saying the same thing over and over again, and they keep ignoring you. So what you really need to do is not let them ignore you. Don't repeat yourself. When you're repeating yourself, you're teaching your child that you don't mean it the first time, and you're letting them actually not do what you say you want them to do. So This is what I advise in that case. If you are afraid that you've trained your child to ignore you, this is how you can get back on track. So you do the first thing that I said, which is you go over, you get in their face in a friendly way. Hey, Stevie, it's going to be time to go soon to school. Do you want to go now? You want to get ready now or in 5 minutes? And by the way, what I'm going to be telling you to do here, it does take time. Okay, so with a lot of the tools of peaceful parenting, it takes time, it takes effort. You have to be in a decent mood, a good mood, or at least a neutral mood to be able to do any of this. But the effort up front makes it so that you avoid all the power struggles and you avoid the fighting and you avoid, the conflict. So it's worth putting in a little bit of effort to get that cooperation, to get your child to listen to you, to save yourself heartache down the road. And, if you're getting ready to go in the morning and you can use the strategies that I'm about to give you, you're going to start off your day in a much happier place than if you were, fighting, carrying a screaming kid out to the car. So you go over to your child and you say, would you like to get ready now or in 5 minutes? Of course, they're going to say in 5 minutes. So then you say, okay, deal, we're going to go in 5 minutes. Yep, deal, shake on it, get them to agree, pinky shake, cross your heart, whatever you want to do, get them to agree that in 5 minutes it's going to be time to go get ready. You go back in 5 minutes, and this is key here. You don't leave your child's side until they are coming with you. They say 5 more minutes, and you can't say, okay, 5 more minutes. You really have to stick to what you originally said, and you also just can't call out from the other room. Like I was saying, calling out, they're going to ignore you. Just because they've agreed to doesn't mean they're actually going to without your help. So what you're doing here is scaffolding your child to make it easier for them to cooperate with you. So you go back over after 5 minutes. Hey, I know you're having a great time with your Lego, so you're like connecting with them, noticing something that they're doing. I love that guy that you built, and it's time to go. And no, I don't want to go. Of course, they're still not going to want to go. And that's when you bring in the win-win solutions that I was talking about before. Do you want to bring your Lego guy to the car with you, and then you can tell me all about it? Do you want, he can ride in your pocket? Do you want to fly him over to the door? Do you want to race me to the door? We can see who can get their shoes on first. Do you want a piggyback ride? Do you want me to carry you, or do you want to walk? So you're really, instead of you're connecting with your child, you're giving this invitation to play, or you're giving them something to move toward, or inviting like a friendly competition. So you're really working with your child to find that win-win solution to get them to move towards the door. Worst case scenario, you have to pick them up kicking and screaming. But I can almost guarantee you that if you connect first with your child after giving them a choice and then give them an invitation to play, they're going to be way more willing to go along with you. As a connected child is really a child who wants to cooperate with you. And if you're giving them that positive attention, when it's time to do something they don't want to do, they're going to be much more willing to listen. So just to wrap up, we talked about kids ignoring you because they actually are thinking about, they're engrossed in their play, and that's a brain development thing. We talked about them not listening or ignoring you because they don't actually want to do what you want them to do, and finding win-win solutions. And we also talked about when you have trained your child to ignore you because you have given them, you repeat yourself so much, they don't end up having to do the thing that you're trying to get them to do, or they do it 15 minutes after you've asked because you just keep telling them over and over again, and they can keep ignoring you and keep playing. So ask yourself if you've trained your child to ignore you. Use some of the strategies that I've given you. And I wanted to say that, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, it was about the getting your child to, and I was going to say we often get really upset with our children because we give chances and chances and we tell them over and over again, and then we totally lose it and start yelling. And that's when we start our day off badly, start their day off badly, or end the night badly, or whatever. When we're in conflict with our child, nobody ends up feeling good. So what you do to avoid that is what I said: don't let them ignore you. Scaffold them, give them the support they need to meet your expectations of getting ready, brushing teeth, whatever it is that they need to do. You're helping move them towards that goal, and you're doing it before you get upset. You're setting the limit early. they don't have the option to ignore you, because you're going to be right there giving them the support that they need to do what you're asking them to do and not ignore you. I hope you've liked this video. If you did, I'd love it if you would share it with anyone that you think also might like it, and leave me any comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And yes, I also have if you want to learn more about peaceful parenting, or want to find out about working with me, you can go to my website, which is sararosensweet.com, and you can also join my Facebook group, which is Peaceful Parenting with Sarah Rosensweet. And I look forward to hearing what you think and connecting with you. And again, please share this video if you think that you know someone who also wants to know how to get their kids to listen. Okay, let me know how it goes. Thanks, and bye.